If beating a woman was a test, this man passed it with a distinction. I told friends that this was love, but they weren't on the same page. They said, dump the bloody bastard. He's got rage, and like an animal, he belongs inside of a cage.
You have that deep voice, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Ngitshelela babayithu ngithi ebafethu itswe siyavaya fanda hey mavesta ngeke kwenze kanjalo ungasplana ngithi splana sinesibhamu sinemess and fonani lo usibuse kafuna ukubheka off hayi ntanga mina ngeke ngilungi ngithi awungitsheli lokho.
Unfortunately, I've heard he's been arrested because of the podcast.
Angitsheli lokho.
I'm telling you, ngiyakutshela manje.
I'm asking GP, I guess I'm sure it's out. What I like about Pastor Enigma is that he pushes us to be better. The biggest one for me is the prevention one. The God doesn't want condoms and fast.
Condom. Because I've been trying to defend Pastor Enigma, and it's a sad thing because of now Bamusuwa Pastor Enigma.
Enigma, yeah.
Honale lawsuit. Honale this other lady, I'm not saying she died because of believing in Pastor Enigma. This lady, and she could have been saved. But now there is no face because of that belief what I can't do with the transplant. Ujezo uti.
He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't hold me down, beat me against the concrete floors, doesn't hit me with concrete thoughts as he slams the bedroom doors. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't deliver fists as gifts that fit my tits, nor feeds the kids with love from lips, doesn't take my hints not to break my ribs. He's got skills, but kills emotions when he breathes from gills. He doesn't love me no more. See, I was the type that used to brag to friends about his jealousy, his strength, and the power of his hands. So his hands transformed into fists. Fists that stole the beauty of my youth. His hands transformed into fists. His hands landed on my rib cage. But I wasn't on the same page, so his rage landed on my rib cage. I told friends that this was love, but they weren't on the same page. They said, dump the bloody bastard. He's got rage, and like an animal, he belongs inside of a cage. No, I said. He's my man, and without him, I'd go mad, and he didn't get love from an early age. My excuses made him an exclusive explosive in my existence, but my persistence will ensure that women like me face extinction. If beating a woman was a test, this man passed it with a distinction. Every night neighbors had front row seats. If they missed it today, tomorrow the movie repeats. This piece depicts how on a daily basis a woman's life depletes, how the cycle of her life becomes complete. But maybe, just maybe, had Eve aborted, then the Cains in us never would have existed. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't love me no more.
Shodi. Before I call him fit, you wanna let her know who's a fit man. Hey, this is too emotional. Remember, this is the real talk. It doesn't have to be that serious, I know some of you some of you guys are crying. So, Shodi,
Yabona don't kulela la ngoma ethi
Saculela nna mna culela Palesa.
bangithathele pali
I need a
wami
tissue, please.
angifuni ngisingo pali wami yabona le ngoma le bathi bangithathele pali wami
Oh, batho.
bamthathile ngiyamlanda manje hayi madoda nayuza le ngoma ithi banthathele pali wami angeke ngiyabalanda manje ngiyabalanda
Bafethu kaSizulu bare ecela simshayeleni izandla mo.
Thank you.
Palesa, before you introduce her,
Yeah.
officially, I have to put this statement now, because each and every time I go poster on my WhatsApp status, I get the same comment. Mfethu man, ke mang wana o re fe di number mfethu wa wana.
Oh my God.
And then ke ba fa same answer. So officially, I'm gonna tell you guys stop asking me for the number. Sa Palesa.
Okay.
Palesa ke a friend, ke a colleague. At the same time, ke boss. Kano boss wa ka kana. They don't know.
Well, a little bit.
But ke ngamla mfethu literally ke ngamla ya ka bafethu. So when it comes to ngamla bafethu a re tlale ka njalo bafethu. So for those who don't know you Palesa ne, because I don't really know how to introduce you.
Okay.
Because I might say, oh boy, take a more MC, come you're an actor, mashazongi. So gonna be so for those who don't know you, share by camera and then but tell them what Palesa.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Palesa Mosiea. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an actor. In fact, the piece I just did was from a show, a theatrical production called I Had to Kill Him. I was playing a woman that killed her husband after finding him in bed with a maid. You know, Mardelin Talyard, yeah. So, like I said, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an actor, I'm also an entrepreneur, but the most important one is I'm an inclusion activist. Yeah.
Maran Mabil, just for clarity. Or in terms of performance, you from guy?
A theatrical production that I was in called I Had to Kill Him.
So was it written by somebody else?
It was written by Spelele Kulu, 4 women in prison reciting their stories as to how they ended up in prison due to the abuse of men.
Okay, sharp. I know this is deep, but have you ever been abused before?
Thank God not. Careless, I leave evidence. Even if you touch me, you'll see. I leave evidence. So my blue eye is going to be purple. And I work too much. So I'm definitely having you arrested. But because I love you and you're my partner and I know I can't just cut love off, I'll go visit you in prison. You know what I mean? So I'm very privileged. I remember when I was a teenager, I dated a guy who I was told, don't date that guy, what rapper? But he never touched me. No. Hey. And I know the law. I should have been a lawyer. But no, I've never been in an abusive relationship, whether it be physically or emotionally.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is Careless. I actually could push you. Hey. Shock, Careless. I'm out. Because you need to understand, Careless, ne? I was born with albinism. Ne? And my whole life, people nebasa. Can I speak Sotho as well?
Yeah, feel free.
Nebasa mboni man. Nebana le that thing.
You can add a little bit of Zulunyana, so.
Can
you speak Zulu? most of my followers are Zulu.
Is it? So bebana la nto yokuthi, that's probably the only Zulu I'm gonna speak. Yokuthi abacabangela ukuthi kungaba nezinto ezinhle. Like you, they didn't think you could achieve much because of who you are. So I had to fight very hard to get to a point where people recognize me for me outside of my condition, right? So after going through all that abuse, that discrimination, people calling me names, running away from me because they thought I was contagious. So they thought like about Tisa, the vanilla will rub off. After going through all of that, there's no way I'm going to get into a relationship and allow a man to make me feel less than what I am. No, I've been through that. Enough.
I could share the difference between Siamo, Careless, baby powder. Difference between Nalona Goreng. When you were born like this, now it's not.
Huh?
No? And you go almost every year. And I have my reasons why. So, I feel chance out ke bue like today. And I've never mentioned this on my podcast, but on my social media platforms, ke bue.
Okay.
Kena le condition ya ba re ke kana ba re ke man. Yo, guys, if you check you one. Check out this. Kena le skin peeling disorder. E kopane le keloid. So do your research. Skin peeling disorder and a keloid. But now ke fodile no. I think it's been maybe like more than 12 years kile sharp, I think, more than that.
Hey, Careless.
Yeah.
But isn't keloid like a growth?
Yeah, this is a little too small.
Oh.
So you expand. So now I think about better because I've realized my girlfriend is at a I should use I forgot the name, man. And I just started recently, so it's a difference. So, but my point going, remember guys, this is not an interview. We're having a conversation. So I say well, I'm going to ask Palesa the questions and then we'll answer guest host and stuff. No, we're just going to have a conversation.
How about the presenter really too, say?
And on that note, we see if you like intimidated, and I go chala, you know. Last time I was laughing about getting Africa 2024. Do we still have the MC Benzabare? Why le makha? So now giblumile professionally he whereby when no MC not an MC abo wangala le makha but MC le abo. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yes.
And then I'm the opposite.
Okay. We're not why ungalale makha. We're no love.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So that's why you get opposite.
Yeah.
So when you are born like this, now I was not born like this. Brown man up until I get this condition.
Okay.
And I know depression because now I got a chama boy back then, and then
even now.
No, trust me, no get better. But now when it comes to you, since when you were born like this, the challenges obviously like we're not used to. We don't see people like you every day. You understand? So like challenge you to worry. When I the face of Boshoti. So now when I see you, I see the face but your condition. Because now most of them banal depression and then when I opposite to too loud and no confidence. When that confidence.
Well, Niki school called Val Christian School. They could have been more creative. It's a Christian school, but maybe it's a Val Christian school. Anyway, so Skolom. They used to tease me and bully me a lot. Bampiza and albino. Kase soto bar leswefe.
Leswefe, yeah.
Well, I don't know how you pronounce it. Kistwana se leswefe. And I hate that word. I think Sutu, you need to come up with a better word. Anyway, so one day the teacher comes to pull me out of the queue. They're calling me an albino. And then she said, why would you cry when they call you what you are? Yo, Careless, negile boarding school mama hayo. Kina le phone card earlier Telkom at 20 rand ke phone ke fitla hostel ke fetsa. Why are you laughing because I gave away my age? Ke fetsa this phone card ke la ke re mama why nna ke kgethela mosoba so why batho ba sa batla dula le nna why batho ba mpalea why batho aka ikgethela ke re why nna ndete modimo nkentse so and then Careless like I'm a very solutions-oriented person. How am I problem? I solution. I'm wired like that. Even if you are not telling me about the solution, I'm wired or about the solution.
And I believe you were supposed to be a lawyer for years.
You know what I mean? Until I realized the amount of books and case studies you have to read, no thanks. Communication is my field. Because there you talk more than you read. Or not really, but less than you would read as a lawyer.
Yeah.
No, but in any case, Careless, let's get now. Because it's about 3 times a week. So I would cry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine crying 2 to 3 times a week?
Yeah.
And this time, I so now, these white kids, they came on the wrong day. Because on the day where I've made a decision, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Hey, Albino. They used to, Albinky. Like they used to have different ways of doing it. And I get to a jungle gym in a slide and I go down the slide and I said, what's your problem? What you notice about a bully? I wonder how I approach her. That's when you realize a bully's power is in your fear. As long as you're afraid of a bully, they have power over you. So now what's who was and then le voice.
o tsogile or o baketse kana
Oh my God, no, I get a squad.
Yeah.
And again, the leader. Oh my God, this is not the script. Completely off script. I have your skin, and then if super a black girl, I have your skin and their mind. So I have the best of both worlds. So what's your problem? Careless, I kid you not, it got around the school. She's found her voice. And people stopped making fun of me. But the problem is I went to 6 different schools. So I had to do that whole thing at every school. I had to school someone at every school. 6 times, Careless. But like, right now I'm fit. Not right now, whatever you call me is on you.
Maybe someone is watching. But
Yeah.
educated, like, how do you become one? Is it because now maybe if a brother and sister sleep together, maybe because albino, I don't know.
Yeah,
So maybe-
you
you don't know. So please educate us.
It's not a curse, it's a generic condition. The first thing, it's not albinos. That's the one we have to correct, because we have to use the right term to refer to people with albinism. So you refer to us as people with albinism. And I'll tell you why, Careless, because you don't want to be defined by your condition. Imagine if never be skin peeling or keloid.
Yeah,
Why it's
yeah, no, it makes
So
sense. Yeah.
I'm Palesa. I'm a woman. I'm stunning. I'm educated. I'm smart. I'm all these things. I'm a mom. Before I have so I'm preceded by who I am, and I just happen to have the condition. So you cannot precede me with my condition. It's not fair. So I have albinism. And some people would say living with it. It's people with albinism. I don't know if I said it right the first time. People with albinism. Because if you say I'm living with albinism, I've consented to it to be my roommate. I get when you live with someone, we're gonna go live together. So if you're saying I'm living with it, no, I have it. So I'm a person with albinism. So when you talk about people that look like me, you talk about a person with albinism. There are people that don't mind when you call them albino, but I had to educate myself because and other people have not gotten to my level. So if call me whatever you want, they're going to do it to other people as well. So out of respect, especially for the inclusion work that I do for people that look like me, I understand completely why I wouldn't want to be called by my condition. So it's people with albinism, right? And then both parents have to have the gene. How do you know who has the gene? You can go all the way to a scientist and to a lab and check if you have the gene, but who has time for that? But you'll only know once the child is born. Can I have a child that's pigmented? That means that is black? Yes, my child is pigmented. She's black. That means I had the gene, the dad didn't. You see? So it's just, it's a genetic
for
condition.
someone to have someone like that, so both parents have to have those in their genes?
Yes, both parents have to have the gene.
Hey, do your research.
Yeah.
We learn a few things every day about it. And then let me ask you something sensitive since we're looking at
Yeah.
You more like if you know Bible, you more like and as well I think people your age, we can compare them le Moses. Like which other way?
Moses sale bolaya motho Careless.
Like which other way? The reason why I'm saying this is because of remember when he was born.
Oh.
Bible. I don't know because there's somebody similar. Jesus, Jesus, le Moses. Hana tsalo nemba bolaya the firstborn. You remember again? So now if you remember back then, I don't know that rumors were but black people believed if we muti someone like you, more powers. So they were killing a lot of people like you back then. So how were you coping?
You know, luckily, and they just believed it's a curse. So how fit and never eat because never believe or if basa it's a job and I always said, oh, what a waste of spit. Can you imagine what And then omo ngababa le yena anyway, Isa. But anyway, so, yeah, no, but I can read a poo. It's not supposed to happen. But enough. But the good thing about Kwakwa is they just thought it's a curse, that my mother and father must have done something really bad to God for about like aso. It's in very rural, deep parts of KZN where the mutilations were happening. I have to say, I've always wanted to go to Tanzania, but I do have that little bit of a fear because Tanzania, they can grab a child off the street and then just cut off their arm. But Careless, I always ask people, like, if honestly, Nikina Leona died in, because there are some parts of Africa, moba rekenyang in a hat, and then wa fela udula gara because people believe you bring good luck, you know. If Nikina Leona died in, why wouldn't I just chop off a finger and give it to my mom? Alowina Lord. Do you know what I mean? Because a finger, I can live without a finger. Why wouldn't I do that? Some myths don't make sense. Make it make sense. So can at least superpower. Come on, guys. Come on.
Be careful because of a trailer against blind. I can take the death clip or national power, give it a chop. They don't know the whole story. They have to check the whole.
They will have to. And I check and vele but believe the finger.
So Shab, remember what educated, so I don't really know much. How do you pronounce it? Albinism.
Albinism, yeah.
Okay, Shab. So is it only for black people?
Oh no, it's across races.
So how can you tell? Well,
it's defined.
Once you tell then get
Oh, but Careless, there are days even when I speak. So the thing that causes it's the lack of pigment, right? In the skin, the hair, and the eyes. So my hair is blonde because hyena pigment. My eyes are green because hyena pigment. My skin is pale because of no pigment. So that's the identifying factor. So I'm not saying now everybody that has green eyes has albino. I don't know why they have green eyes.
No, but it's a difference between with
albinism.
Yeah, is there a difference now or
it's the same condition. It's just that for a white person, because they are white anyway, other people might not even pick it up as albinism. But their hair will be very blonde, but in other parts of the world their hair is ginger. Usually comes sorry?
Marashia.
Okay. O batla go ntsenya ke tshaba Vladimir Putin or nkare Marashia. No, I'm kidding. But you will see the skin is more sensitive, it's hypersensitive, especially to the sun. You will see the hair is very white or ginger and you'll also see with the eyes. So when a person is white, it's difficult to pick it up, you know, but it cuts across races.
So are you more like me whereby even though
one more thing, it usually comes, not always, but usually comes with a visual impediment. So the one I have is called nystagmus. It's an involuntary movement of the eye that causes short sight. So when I look at you and my eye is doing this, I get scammer. I'm not doing it as a party trick. I'm not nervous. It's just, it happens automatically. Yeah.
Palesa, I don't want you to think I don't know how to pronounce this word. We're taking albinism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me say albino once.
I just told you, it's not allowed to say that.
Because now, what if maybe albino somehow?
No, it would be evidence in your complexion because other people have vitiligo, so they'll continue to turn white and white and white and white until the black patches are gone. So if you would have a condition, I wouldn't say it's albinism. If you're getting whiter and whiter, it might be vitiligo, which is what people would refer to as the Michael Jackson. Because remember, Michael Jackson used to be black and then he was white. So it's a condition called vitiligo. Some people say he did surgery, skin bleaching. Maybe he might have done it to assist his skin to be white quicker so that he doesn't have patches. So if you're worried about a condition, if you feel yourself getting whiter and whiter and whiter, maybe vitiligo, but I don't think albinism because we're generally born milky, honey. Yeah.
And that's what I did. I remember because I'm talking more fast blind. So luckily I was trying to save to buy a car. Like 30,000 and a car plus medical aid. So I get like this condition. I was ready for riding. So I get no man, something's wrong here. So I a surgery, but it was expensive. I had to do maybe like 3 sessions. So I only went for 1.
Okay.
The reason why you would see tattoos on my neck, because of husky pillar off. I thought that was gonna be like that forever. So now I had to do the tattoos to cover.
Oh my
and
God.
Man, after a couple of months, 6 months over sharp. So now I had to do surgery for the give 1 or 2 colors.
Okay.
Otherwise, I begin to lead these spots and yada. So if one of someone out there who's suffering, bafetu, honali choose on once Oscar bloma that long up until eba permanent. Once it's all riding, you good obtain either you're gonna allow it like more like yellow or you do surgery. Just like Michael Jackson. Some things you don't do because you love. I get example of Palesa and but I'm not mentioning Pastor Enigma out of the blue. Why can I mention? If there's something wrong, I was born maybe brownish complexion but not white. But I want to know pillar off. Either I'm gonna be more like how it's again, ujeso uti unga bleach you size 1 2 3 kibloma like yalo. And then I 3 colors or spots. Or I can do something about it. To understand. If I'm getting fat, I can decide what I want to go to gym. To do so with the shop. You understand?
Yeah.
So now how do you feel about we're not gonna go deep into Bible. But now I'm sure you have heard Pastor Enigma. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Pastor Enigma. So the gym. Because some of us we never chose to be like this. I had to do something for to get better. You understand? So how do you feel Pastor Enigma?
Okay, there are some things that you can change, and there are some things that you have to accept and learn to live with. So the albinism, I can't change. No matter what I do, even if I use tanning spray. So kitla tabeng eno buang ka na hore wena be khona into ongayenza ngesimo sakho. Angithi thina abanye ayikho into esingayenza. But what is important is if there's something you can do about it because it's affecting your confidence and it's not nice when people make fun of you, definitely do something about it. And if there's nothing you can do about it, sit with yourself, find your peace. Because my confidence comes from self-love and self-acceptance. So now you can't tell me anything about who I am, Pastor Enigma. I believe Pastor Enigma believes that he has a message, right? I believe that's a genuine belief that he has, and it could be really a message from God, right? What I like about Pastor Enigma is that he pushes us to be better. I'm a very positive person. I'm a very optimistic person. Even when I pray, I always say, God, help me be better through the Holy Spirit, So I like that he pushes us to be better in that he'll say, if you've sinned, repent. If you've done something wrong, align with God. But there are certain things that really boggle my mind. The example of the star, at some point he speaks about star na lady in Kanyes. And he says it's not godly. And I'm like, but God used the star to lead the 3 wise men to Jesus. Or maybe there's somewhere in the Bible where it says the stars are not godly, I don't know. And then there's the one the biggest one for me is the prevention one. The God doesn't want condoms, doesn't want prevention. If you're done with kids, just pray and fast. And pray and fast and then tell God I'm enough now. I'm sure my grandmother, number 7, she prayed because she was a prayer warrior. She still had number 8, So I just think some of the things, we just also have to use our common sense. So I'm not going to ridicule him because, you don't speak ill of men of God. But what I will say is I take what I take from him, and the rest I apply my mind. It's the same as the pastor doom, You go to church, you believe in God, the pastor preaches well, but has a doom, you like, na complexion So I apply my mind. I don't follow blindly.
Because there's a couple of concerning views, right, and comments from the previous episode that we had with Bishop Moloi. Yeah. So now there's a part where Pastor Enigma, Bishop Moloi is actually against what Pastor Enigma said. He said, I quote, open brackets, quote, close brackets, R. uNkulunkulu akathanda ma 2000. Jesus, actually Jesus akathanda ma 2000 because he had an incident with the 2000 at the mall.
Okay.
Yes, there was a 2000 that approached him on a phone. At the Pastor Enigma, what? And then when he came back to a podcast, I think a couple of days after, he said, Jesus agafuna ma 2000. So do you think that's accurate? Because
no, ma 2000 are hectic, guys. Let's be real. The way we were raised, we were raised to be conservative. We were raised to be afraid of boys. So you're going through a situation. You're sitting in a, I don't club anymore, but you know those establishments where at night it becomes something else. You know, you were eating dinner and then all of a sudden it's all hectic. And I was listening to a child who could have been 19 or 20 swearing at a guy who was in his late 40s or early 50s, you know? Like, I don't swear, so I don't want to use the vulgar that she was using. But, you know, she's like, I F off wena. So they are really hectic. They are very outspoken. They are very open. They go the extra mile. They are fluid when it comes to sexuality. Not all of them, obviously. I'm now speaking very loosely. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just raising a point. It is a very difficult generation that we're struggling to navigate. The problem is, how can we be certain that he said that because of the incident at the mall, or if it was really a revelation that he had? Because let's make an example. Let's say he did have schizophrenia, and I'm not saying he does. Ne? He could have heard the voice, right? That's telling him what it tells him, and then he comes to tell you what the voice told him. Let's say he had multiple personality disorder. He could have heard one of his personality telling him that. Or if he really is connected to Christ, he could have heard Christ telling him that, and it's just a coincidence that it happened after an incident that happened with him in a 2000. Now let's talk about my view on that. I believe God is a God of everyone. And I believe God loves us all despite our imperfection. I've seen God's grace in my life. I am not perfect, but God has stuck by me. He has forgiven me. He has walked with me no matter what, even in the darkest of days. So I don't believe that there's a certain group of people that God will just isolate and say, these ones I don't want. He might say, I'm not happy with them. I think they should repent. I wish they were better, but I don't want. He chose people that killed his son on a cross very brutally, and he still forgave them, you know? So that's the only issue that I have with it. That's why I take here, I leave there.
There is no ask to Pastor Enigma, because on the previous episode, I've tried my best to defend one.
I heard, yeah.
But now Bishop J. Moloi came a couple of facts. But now only go TikTok, I think they only saw the trailer, about the full episode. Then Banabata Twala better what he meant. So now my point is sometimes I was saying common sense. So if Jesu Uti afuna ma condom, and then we listen to Pastor Enigma, and then we stop using the condoms. Now the first like of a little like a teenage pregnancy because
pregnancy, HIV, gonorrhea. Hey,
I understand. So, for example, if God are accepted Jesus, your body, like if you are talking like today, remember your body as and then your soul that goes to heaven. So now if king come it's a body as and then I don't have to buy clothes, even if I'm expensive. And kapitika ka one fasi be etla dust. This body asala Spend some common sense. But it's a body as Salamara, Abare Oscatapa, Oscapara school. Because that's fast because of body asala.
Yeah.
Common sense.
Yeah.
That's why it goes back to Pastor Enigma, whereby if Ujesu Afunama condom, and then you blindly you listen to Enigma and you stop writing. So I support your statement, Howard. Take whatever that works for you and then leave the rest.
Yeah. You have to be logical. Because also God gave us, we are the only animal in the world, and it's the animal. We are the only creation in the world that God has given free will. So we have the ability to decide, right? And He gave us that free will for a reason. That's what I believe. And then also, if you think about it, He also gave that person that made the condoms the intellect to create a condom to prevent the spread of HIV, to prevent teenage pregnancy. So whilst I can understand what he's saying about you shouldn't be intimate with anyone until you get married, because then maybe you are less likely to get any diseases when you are in a marriage, but we live in the real world. There's infidelity and faithfulness. People are not what they're supposed to be in marriages. And then there's the issue of having a bigger family than what you can afford. So we have to, common sense has to apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before you go to Tabaya, what you do, and then you're going to tell us more about Meet SA Talent Show.
Yeah!
I know you were waiting for that part of the show.
Yes.
So we're going to go there. But now, in terms of, because most of us, we hardly watch TV lately. Remove phone, remove social media platforms, but now, honestly, marketed for TV. I've watched a couple of reality shows, like Bojans of the City, the Buyer Man. So now I just want to hear your views in terms of what do you think those reality shows, especially Bobo Moja Love, Bumsanze Magic? Because now there is why I'm asking these questions, because of most of them staged. And now, but by this thing, they think what is real.
You know what, Careless, I'll tell you something that was not publicized. I had signed on, and I'm not a fan of reality TV because I know that most of it is scripted anyway. It's very rare that it's actually real, you know. So I thought to myself, I'll never do a reality show until I got an offer to do a show. And the idea behind the show was to do a show that teaches people about albinism, that paints it in a different light, that shows them that a person with albinism can be an advocate, they can be a doctor, they can be... And this stems from, there's a show I did on SABC, and on that show, when we were sitting on stage, it was myself, Thando Hopa, the model, and lawyer, and Puleng Molebadzi, exceptional TV presenter and actor and writer. And somebody sent a tweet to say, I didn't know people like this could be lawyers. You know, so when they approached me with this show, I thought, okay, I gave them Simba Gozo. That is a good-looking man with albinism. And I had always said growing up, I will never date someone that looks like me. After meeting Simba, I realized I meant I would never date a timid man. Because Simba changed my perception altogether. And every time I tell the story, people say, do you have a crush on him? No, I don't have a crush on Simba. But he represented the fact that having albinism doesn't automatically mean you are timid. He's bold, he's confident, he's outspoken, and he knows who he is, you know? And that's what I like. I like a man who knows who he is, who's bold, who's smart. He's smart. And seeing him made me realize my own bias, right? And then I thought, Simba, let's do this show, man. Let's show them.
Like, I feel like you're describing yourself somehow.
You see? So that's how I felt about him. Like, it's just that I had lived in Kwakwa for so long that I had never had the exposure to people that look like me, that have the confidence that I have, or maybe even more than what I have, you know? And we thought, let's do this show. But then quickly you start to realize when you do the pilot, you're being channeled to say certain things, to behave a certain way. And it starts to feel like it perpetuates negative stereotypes that you wanted to avoid. You know, there are certain things, I don't like an Achashem story. I don't like an Achashao, Kisono. So I didn't want, and I'm not saying that it is an Achashem story, but I'm saying, when I'm going to do a reality show, it's going to be a very positive reality show. It's going to show the positive side, the stories about the myths and the skin conditions and we've heard them, ne? And I'm not saying they're not important, but I'm saying in a show that I want to do, by the way, I already explain it as an education, but it can't be what leads a show that I want to be a part of. The very essence of inclusion is for you to see me as you see yourself. So if I'm in a show where I'm constantly putting my condition ahead of myself, you continuously see the condition before you see me. So in general now, let's speak about in general. Let's leave this albinism one. In general, reality shows that are created for people that are different, I feel like they miss the mark somewhere because at some point in their mind, although they might not tell us, they want to create a circus and we must be the clowns.
For the ratings.
Because clowns are funny. Because they say, you know what I mean? And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying the people in those shows are, but I'm saying people that create them, they have that thing. And I've spoken to some people that have done these kind of shows, and you'll see a common thread. You are always directed towards controversy. You know what I mean? Tim, what's wrong with you following my life as I hit the stage on the Meet SA talent show and leave it on fire? What's wrong with you following me on set when I shoot Soweto Blaze for Netflix? What's wrong with you watching me as I stand on stage at the manufacturing in Daba? What's wrong with you watching me deliver my keynote, The Best of Both Worlds? What's wrong with seeing such positivity? Yes, my life has challenges, and we'll talk about the challenges, but you cannot make a show specifically tailored to highlight the challenges that I face with my condition when they don't even exceed the advantages.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, at all. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, ne. Obana Palesa let that thing man. Obana how bua. This one man totally ke mametse go shebile so. Like when you speak like someone motho mamela.
Thank you.
And I think that's why maybe somehow you were supposed to be a lawyer. I don't want to mention the name of the company or the name of whatever. Just know fellow we were supposed to do promo for this company, no?
Yeah.
And I came out too difficult. I just told them, fellow cash up. Because I want to build a relationship with you guys.
Yeah.
How much do you have?
Yeah.
No, man, I charge us or one. Then Basana Palesa, no. Palesa gave sweet talk about it.
A shrewd negotiator.
And we listen. Even when I get cash up, I'm gonna my rates for the sake of building a relationship with these guys.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to Palesa, and charge fast. So like how someone mamela, you grab attention as someone and moto agree fela o jumpa later on or no mas ke accept like I can mas. So ke mametse la bua like sorry mar no man. Like either you're supposed to be a lawyer or a pastor.
Yasuka manje.
Yeah. Maranchel, I just want to know the journey, how from, because you do several things.
Yeah.
But now, how did you get to meet as a talent? Because I think you started being an influencer, and then from influencer you became something else.
Not even an influencer. I became an influencer by default because people just liked me and they followed me, and I wasn't even trying to build a social media following. Now that I'm trying to build it, it's not happening. But no, but I swear, like I got to like 8,000 something followers on Instagram without even trying. Then I was like, you know what, I want to monetize. Then I did this course. How does the algorithm work? And what a waste.
So you did a course?
I did a course to learn,
so
you know.
You paid?
Sorry?
You paid?
I paid in dollars. In dollars, Buddha.
Hey guys, bona man, if maybe out there or someone on Palesa, maybe you want to learn how the system works. That's what I do, guys. I teach about to
mentorship.
We do mentorship programs.
Yeah.
We teach the individuals, including the companies, on how to grow, how to get followers, organic. Regular robots
yeah.
How to grow your account and how to monetize. So if you want to learn, stop paying the dollar.
What you taught me in that 20-minute conversation that we had has done more for me than the dollars. I can't make it sharp, chief. I can't make it sharp.
Eish.
So now, Zimanyana, hey, no more dollars.
Therefore, whatever that you pay,
But it's a fraction of the price. But anyway, to answer your question, so now I've always been a corporate girl. See, I'm at the age of 23, I was the general manager of an international boxing promoting company. And every time I say this, people say, oh, no, boxer. No. No. I used to manage boxers, world champions, intercontinental champions, SA champions, Pan-African champions. So I used to manage boxers, one of the best boxers this country has ever seen. They used to call him the young Muhammad Ali, Bongani Mwelasi. He called himself Cyclones. Yes. Putwam, I was managing Ubongani Mwelasi. Exceptionally talented man. The most memorable thing about Bongani Mwelasi was...
Who's the African guy he broke his literally...
Uyangifaka manje. Awungitsheli lokho. So Mwelasi, exceptional talent.
And that voice, you're not faking that voice, or you have that deep voice, man.
Yeah.
So,
Ngitshelela baba ithu ngithi ebafethu itswe siyavaya fanda hey mavesta ngeke kwenze kanjalo ungasplana ngithi splanane sinesibhamu sinemess and fonani lo usibuse kafuna ukubheka off hayi ntanga mina ngeke ngilungi ngithi awungitsheli lokho it's all.
And a shout out to Sylvester Mofokeng.
Amen.
I love that guy, but unfortunately I've heard he's been arrested because of the podcast. I'm telling you.
Yo.
So I don't know if he was arrested maybe for a day. I'll have to do my research, but apparently he was arrested because of doing the podcast. So he had to stop.
I'm asking GP, I guess I'm sure he's out. I'm sure he's out. Hey, but podcast, sometimes I listen and I'm lost, Careless. But back to Careless. I want to. Yes, thank you. So Cyclones, abafihla way inning ne. He used to struggle with weight sometimes, and he would take off his underwear and weigh netsua. But I used to manage such stars, you know, and haneke qala boxing Careless, the Eastern Cape people bare asithethe nabafaz. Bangafuna ukuthetha nami bathi futhi ngimncane ngibiza ubaba wami bangidelela lapha. So I started getting talent from all over the world, Mexico, Dominican Republic, United States of America. It was more expensive, but I had to show them something. Ne? Yeah. In the first year, we got Promoter of the Year award locally and internationally, and I was nominated Manager of the Year alongside giants. 25 years of experience under their belt. I only had 1 year, and then they started to recognize me. Now they were calling me. So from boxing, I then went into my own businesses. I've been in property, I've been in hospitality, I've been in events management and communications. So I was always a corporate girl, and then I went back into corporate to work for a construction company as a director of communications and quality management. And then I quit and I came to Joburg to pursue my dreams of my talent, monetizing my talent, acting, motivational speaking, presenting, all of that. Yo, Careless.
And then we're going to meet SA Talent Show.
Meet SA Talent Show. I've known the owner of the company, Thabo Mofokeng. He's going to hate me. He doesn't want his real name. Thabo Mofokeng. I've known him for a while. And he's been asking me to be part of his company for so long. And eventually he had the Meet SA Talent Show. He hired me as one of the hosts,
and
right?
Mr. Guy, because it's the first time I'm on.
Yeah.
And he looks young, man.
Yeah.
Because first time I feel like I think nearly the semi-finals, I'm not sure. Because we're going to grand finale, you know?
Yes, I think it was top 16.
Top 16, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember I feel like after parking, we were lost in Ghana. So, Careless, then get a show.
Yeah.
So, what I like how I behaved and like.
Yeah.
And I always tell my you must always be humble because you don't know.
You never know.
You understand? So now I'm thinking, if I like some random guy, I get I show it sharp man, yeah. And then I realized later on, Hurricane and Gamla. So imagine if I was rude.
Imagine.
You understand? So shout out to you, Tag. Yeah, lona ugamla mfito. Hey, asete spane se umfiki. So yeah, continue Thabo Mofokeng.
Yeah, and then he recruits me to be the host of the show. And as the show is going on, he says, Palesa, are you still not gonna join Meet SA? And I'm like, Tag, you know me, I'm done working for people. And then he gave me an equity deal. So I'm like, then I'm working for myself for a certain percentage, so it's fine. And he hit me with title of CEO, which I think is overused, but yeah.
So the CEO. Hey bafethu. Ngihleli ne CEO ya Meet SA Talent Show. So you're one of the decision makers.
Yeah, but if I had told you my position, the negotiation wouldn't have gone so well. So I kept saying to Careless and the team, I need to go and consult with the team. Whereas...
No, that's why we like things every day. So now...
Yeah, but Tag is still my boss, right? He's the founder of the company, and he really wanted you and Sis Maria to be part of the show. He's really into comedians, because even Umalume is in the show. So
what's his name?
Ligan. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And Habwas Kuagara say.
No presenter. About Palesa, it's a kind of ring kifo.
Hi, it's
I get his niche. Mafuno Kula about
he messes up people's names. Like instead of saying K4, Unama talent Kula. Nangu K-Force. And then K4 will say K4. Oh, sorry.
About can't menacting.
Sorry?
About can't menacting.
Yeah. And then Vamo correct and he says it wrong again.
So shout out to you in Jagaraka.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then that's how I got into the Meet SA Talent Show while I was over here trying to pursue. And Careless, you know, I've gone to so many auditions, guys, and I realized acting is difficult. When I heard that the actor that plays Michael Schofield, apparently when he got that Prison Break role as Michael Schofield, it was his 450-something audition. That's when he got his big role. But I have to say, the work that I'm proud of, I did the Cremora campaign, Nestle, everybody's included. They did a campaign promoting inclusion. They had a person with albinism, a person with a disability, LGBTQI community, Nomsabutelezi, hi, and an ordinary person in you know, a business person. So their intention was to show that everybody should be a part of our society as they actually are. So I'd love to see more campaigns where we are included in it, but not because we have, like, a lawyer, just a normal lawyer, just working in the commercial, maybe get clientele. Now I'm going to mention names that don't pay you. Maybe it's one of the legal companies. And I'm just working in there as a lawyer, you know, and it's not about she is a lawyer that has. It's about she's just a lawyer in the commercial. So that's what Cremora did. They shone a spotlight on we need to have inclusion in commercials. I've just done Vodacom 30 years. And that Cremora one in Elia, it's not inside, it's on top. I hope yeah. And then I've just done, sorry? Yeah, and then I've just done Vodacom 30-year celebration. It's a wonderful world. You'll see I do a scene where I say, I love you, you know.
The guy had to audition like 400 times.
He went to 400, not for Prison Break,
not for that,
but in his career.
Yeah.
So, neke fela matla, Careless, and I'm a very optimistic person. Neke fela matla. Then I also landed my first movie, and my first movie was a movie for Netflix, Soweto Blaze. And I was like, you know what? This industry is hard. Because, Careless, what you want to do when you're an actor, you want to be an actor that works, right? There are certain actors that I see, they work. Temkosi works. You'll see him on everything, you know. They just work. They're constantly in something. Cindy Dlatu works. After she left Movango, she was on the river. Now Queendom. They're actors that work. That's what we aspire for. And I'm not saying they must stop giving actors that work, but I'm showing you that's the aspiration. You want to be a working actor. And my biggest passion, obviously, motivational speaking. I thought I'm gonna just go, but it's not easy, Careless, you know.
In terms of Because I feel like the auditions are necessary sometimes.
If you are at a certain level.
Yeah.
But if you are coming from, I've never been exposed, unfortunately you have to start somewhere and you have to humble yourself.
Yeah, no, I understand. But now, if maybe we have done maybe like a couple of movies, like 5 movies.
Then
we've
no.
So why do we have to audition if they know what I've played maybe 5 characters already?
But it also depends on the role, because Mam Koni went to audition for Wakanda. Or maybe they just selected her. Maybe I'm selected. But if they say
who passed away.
Yes, but if they say come and audition for Wakanda Forever, I'm going for that audition. I'm not going to say, no, I've done stuff. I'm going for that audition. So it depends on your level. When I started, I was auditioning Kipakile Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit, just the level below the SRT. Kipakile kantle lining.
When I think about the role whereby Ole Panzulanyana man, but first something in Loring. Instantly.
I did in Soweto Blaze.
You just did Sylvester Mofokeng and it was convincing. It was convincing, so I think you should do something like that.
I want to do more roles that challenge, because when they cast me as Zaza is the bodyguard of one of the biggest kingpins in Soweto. I was like, what are these people thinking? Oh, that's me. I'm so sorry. Please switch off the alarm. I was thinking, what are they thinking? Like, what? And it needed someone that's athletic, because now the running scene, I shot a gun for the first time in my life. I'd never shot a gun. They thought I had gun training. I quickly learned on set. And I love that. I love challenging myself. I like roles that challenge me. I love tragedy. I love action. So yes, Careless, put it out there, guys. Yeah.
You
know?
Yeah. So now, before we close it off now, future Meet SA talent show, because now we no longer have the idols. So and most of Bato out there, not I used to be one of them, but most of Bato out there, they don't really know Meet SA talent show.
Yeah.
And now February we're going to grand finale. So now what is the future? Is it a once-off thing, grand finale and then done, or are we going for season 2? What is the plans?
Careless, when we did the Meet SA talent show, this show is self-funded. So advertising is expensive. Advertising and marketing is expensive. So our priority was to get the talent. And how in our top 5, 4 of them are from townships, rural communities or remote villages or a township, right? We did a hybrid model. So audition phone.
Yeah.
Whether otwa Teflup Kwakwa, kapa otwa Eskawini, KZN, kapa otwa somewhere Kabeja, you are able to participate in the show. So because of the type of show that we've done, then after a certain level, they have to come for what idols would have called theater week, for ASCII boot camp. Then boot camp, we narrow down top 30 to top 16 to top 10 to top 5, right? So there was no sponsor. All of this was coming out of Meet SA's pocket. So what we're trying to do for season 2, we've put in a lot of funding applications. We're looking for a partner to partner with us on a hybrid talent show. It's a singing competition where people can participate from anywhere in South Africa, because we want to push township economy. And we're also what we want to do in season 2 is to do pop-up auditions, specifically in townships around South Africa, and we're looking for a partner to come on board so that we can go extra mile marketing and advertising. Pop-up audition means
randomly.
Shapa stage, come and perform. And who knows, you might end up making it into the top 50 from the pop-up audition. Because I get a hybrid, you could have entered with your phone anyway, So those pop-ups, because I can a phone, because I get a bridge the gap by saying you can enter using a phone. Then but I can a phone, or phone yaka hena camera. Wa phone is nine camera. Come live.
Balezama, we back then. I remember the Coca-Cola pop stars. Even though I can't sing.
Hey!
But now remember, early in the morning, I'm at 5 a.m. and then no more lining. Some of whoever wanted to come for auditions, they have to maybe Northwest, and remember those auditions they come out even though they go other provinces. But now, if only Northwest, then you have to travel. And then if you came a day before, tomorrow morning 3 a.m. you had to wake up.
Yeah.
So now you guys labazama okay, you don't have to come to us. Got your phone, just record yourself and then upload.
Azisha Core app.
You know that one. Yeah, so you're confused. So just record yourself, guys. It works like this. If you want to enter maybe for season 2, you want to conclude maybe your black wall or your white wall, where you shoot or you record your phone, and then you sing, and then you upload your video clip, go Azishe Core app. You'll never know. Maybe you might be chosen. Or one. So Palesa Mosiea now bazamana now lady pop up auditions. Sanzele complain our bafito. I call.
And happy Careless app ya rona ichazezang. It's an entertainment app. Nekile LA last year ka December. And then you're sitting, you don't know the place. How tsebo hore o kaya kae, o bula fela app, I pull up all the hotspots wherever you are in the world. Pull up all the hotspots, what you check, or check out the reviews, because the people that are using the app, bakona reviewer, the blankets by Uncle or check out the reviews, and then we are playing a sharp. More ensure the reviews are good, the service is good, I'm gonna have a good time. So it's an entertainment app, and then it extend into the Meet SA talent show. So how about open the events wherever you are in South Africa, in the world? Download that app.
Did you say LA?
Los Angeles. If you want me to be clear, Los Angeles, and I came back with an award for Best Actor at the IPOP convention. So Best Actor overall.
Yeah. So in closure, no confusion, because now a couple of promotions via social media platforms for a grand finale the 16.
Oh, it's November.
Now it has been changed to the 25. I'm not sure if a final yet. But tell us more about grand finale.
The grand finale will be in February 2025, right?
Is it like you guys decided?
We've decided February 2025. We just need to lock in a date. There's something that we're working on, something big. I can't say anything right now.
And then maybe you might see us there, go grand finale, even season
maybe.
2. No,
you are locked.
Not that.
Oh.
But in terms of when I get asked, you guys S360 Studios.
Oh.
There's a chance you might see us. But now, obviously, my team, obviously, yes, we're there.
Yes, they are performing. They are locked contractually.
This is Maria for Maraba Fit.
Yes, Sis Maria will also be on stage, and we've got another.
If you want to see Sis Maria fly staging, I was
excited about that. So yeah, Careless. Also, I want to encourage people that are watching the show now. Please download the Azishe Core app. We're about to do a Christmas voucher giveaway at the groceries. And we're gonna make it something substantial. I don't know, 500.
Why grocer, no man?
Sorry.
Why grocer?
Because it's Christmas. It's Christmas and people need groceries. We always do take a lot vouchers, Pick and Pay vouchers, Nando's, Uber Eats. But because it's Christmas, how nice would it be if we hire a grocery about 2.5, 5,000?
Okay.
If we get more people on board, maybe we can say 10K. What are mama moshapaka grocery at 10K? You know what I mean? So we want to work with our partners to make that pot as big as possible, but it won't be anything less than 2,500. And if you are on the app, you'll know what needs to be done. There are vouchers that we're giving away. Even now, there's a travel voucher that we're giving away on the app. So download Azishe Core app, whether you are using an iPhone, Careless, or an Android device.
Wait, for clarity,
just download the app.
For clarity, my phone is not just iPhone, but it's iPhone 15 Pro Max. Yeah, just like you. Palesa Mosiea complain about it. Or it's Meet SA Talent. I must say Meet SA Talent Show.
It is a show.
So when I was got iPhone, you must say iPhone 15 Pro Max.
iPhone 15 Pro Max. Anyway.
I'm gonna go back to, because I've been trying to defend Pastor Enigma. Enigma.
It's Enigma is actually a word.
So I've been trying to defend, even though Bishop J. Moloi, he came like get effects. But I'm going to leave you guys something about it. Like Palesa Mosiea, what works for you. Because there is what I'm saying, there's only, and it's a sad thing because of now Bamusuwa Pastor Enigma.
Enigma, yeah.
Only lawsuit. And now remember now, if let's say Pastor Enigma, and I follow you and I believe more, so sometimes this other lady, I'm not saying she died because of believing Pastor Enigma, but I just want to show you an example where sometimes it's take what works for you, the rest of it, you don't really have to sue someone. This lady, and she could have been saved, but now there is no because of that behavior what I can't do with the transplant. Ujezo uti. You understand? Transplanted them only, you could have. So I'm just saying, fella bafeto out there. Raskaba like so because bara Jesu uti. Yes, Jesu uti. So take what works for you, and then I want to marry in Spanish. So if you get lo my 3 kids basalelema.
Hey, and also, Careless, we must also consult the Bible, because human beings are human beings. They make mistakes. Maybe they misinterpret certain things. But I think if you read the Bible, if God says, I know the thoughts that I have towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. A future is you being alive, is you being prosperous, is you not being sick, God my healer. So I think we must also immerse ourselves in the Word and hear what God says from the Word, and not just take interpretations that we hear, and not just from Pastor Enigma, even myself. If you have a certain belief, I'll make an example. Let's say you don't believe in, you don't believe in homosexuality, right? And you go to a church where the pastor is pro-homosexuality. Your belief should not just be changed by what a pastor says. There must be something deeper that will alter it. And I'll make an example with myself. It's not that I didn't believe in homosexuality, but I didn't understand it until my sister came out. And then I realized
like
that...
your own sister?
Yes, my blood sister. And then I realized that nobody would ever choose that life for themselves. People want to corrective rape her. People call her names. People say she wants to be a man. All of that. Who would choose that life? So through my sister coming out, I became more tolerant, because now I didn't have an issue. I was just like, a lesbian woman must just not hit on me because I'm straight, But I'm tolerable now. If she hits on me, I understand. She was attracted to me because she's attracted to women. And I will turn her down the same way I will turn a guy down. But if I go to a church and a pastor says, homosexuality is evil, I'm not going to go home and say to my sister, you are evil.
You're evil, yeah.
Because you represent it. I will take what I take from the pastor. If 80% of what he says resonates with me, I will accept this 20% aridumelan. And we won't always like each other, we won't always agree, right? And that's what I do. Even in my own church, there are certain things that the church believes, or that is the belief of the church, or what the pastor preaches, that I don't 100% agree with, but because 80% of it resonates with me, I'll stick to the church, because a person will never fully satisfy you, never.
Is it the funny thing when I get on a lighter note? And this thing when it comes to K4, I think 2 days back, because they always see him on social media platforms, a comedian. So the minute I switch up serious, like it's weird like this serious. But now when I know,
I remember
the same thing. Yeah. So now when you can just switch, you can be too loud, or be funny and friendly, hyperactive, and then it looks normal. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, fella, boom.
Yeah.
And then you serious, and then it. So. Here like this as a friend, as someone who works Luena, somehow I'm inspired. I do go through your WhatsApp status.
Oh wow.
So I'm inspired.
Thank
so
you.
I'm just saying, fellow, keep on pushing. To me, I go with the face of that word. I got on So with the face.
Albinism.
So I'm just saying, keep on pushing. You might be saving your life somewhere out, like somewhere out there. Someone maybe about to commit suicide, but now if Palesa can be like this, maybe then I can be somebody else. Understand? So now keep on pushing. One more question, and then I'll be violent, and then you will say some in closure, Oshebe camera, and then say something to your friends and family. But question, I don't know this roommates or guy, so I'm gonna ask for clarity.
Careless.
No,
It's an ambush.
No, it's an
ambush.
I will tell you why. Because of confused. The person who answered this question can know
Nota, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Very controversial figure.
Yeah. You are relatively.
Hold on, Nota spoke about me. No ways. No, I'm sure it's someone else, not me.
No, he knows you.
There's no way. Which note are we talking about?
No Tabaloi.
Lang social media. No, Tsema, but some people like to think I'm someone else. I'm sure he thinks some people think I'm Refilo, even though we look nothing alike.
No, ubile listening.
Okay. Mudisela.
No, Mamela. We said, that rumor you are related to Bondle.
No, that's Refilo. It's Refilo's sister. I deal with this a lot. Like, when I'm talking about garaging, I Refilo. I'm celebrity. No, it's Refilo Mudisela, and Refilo Mudisela is related to Kima? No, to Bondle. Hey. Yeah, they are sisters.
Refilo man?
Mudisela.
Refilo Hey, I'm spelling.
Mudisela. We pizza. Can I pizza? I forgot her handle. But yeah, Refilo Mudisela, she was the model, yeah, legit. But here's another thing. I think people need to understand her. We just have the same complexion. Refilo, very tall, very skinny, high cheekbones, very voluptuous lips. She's got her nose is bigger than mine, right? And she's got very high cheekbones. I've got dimples. I've got a very pointy white nose. My lips are not voluptuous. So Aretwan, the only thing is complexion. Mara batho ba nlwantsha ba re o refilwe wena o refilwe. And no, she's tall and skinny. She's a model. I'm voluptuous. Have you seen my figure? Kepara says 34. I'm sure Refilo is probably a 30.
But guys, do you remember?
You're blinded by the vanilla.
She's more thinner.
She's very small because she's a model and very tall.
She's a bit tall.
Yeah, you're blinded by the vanilla. And Careless, it's like somebody saying Utswanali Trevor Noah because you're both light in complexion. That's what we have to deal with. Yeah. No, thank God. I thought I was worried I'm on Nota's radar. No, it's not me. It's not me. It's Refilo Mudisela. Exceptional queen. Queen, keep queening, man. She's doing great work.
Yeah, no, Balakopanya.
He's doing the same thing. Because we are vanilla, we are one.
And then, just in a nutshell, Palesa, where to from here? Because of course, you've said a whole mouthful, but of course, as an entrepreneur, where to from here? And of course, your future endeavors, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Careless.
Okay. Okay. Should I answer? Oh, not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Because came all the way from here, and just to add, based on what I do, because I do several things. We hardly sleep. Today we woke up 6 a.m. Today Raspana Bafita. Next, we even came late here. So now, how do you manage your time? Because now, motivational speaking, or travel, meet a talent show, acting. So how do you manage your time? Do you get time for friends and family? Do you ever rest now?
You make time for friends and family, and you definitely have to make time to rest. Careless, one of this thing is too busy. You can always make time. You can, because the busiest person, and let's make an example of President Cyril Ramaphosa. If there's a person that can call Cyril Ramaphosa and he'll drop everything that he's doing and go and speak to that person. So can you really be too busy?
I think it depends.
On the person. No, that's not fair. Because if you are not too busy for the president, you can't say you are too busy for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'd rather say, I make time for what's important.
Palesa, what about you can't be too busy. You make time for those who are important.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, but now it shows what about the real talk important. She's here. She made time.
Yeah.
So if Palesa can come to my podcast, it means the next time you might even see Julius Malema more this chair. So important, Bafetu. So Palesa, your last words. Let's wrap it off.
You said, who am I speaking to the audience? But you said family, so I'm confused.
Your family
now.
and friends and fans.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah. Everyone, yeah.
Okay, firstly, thank you so much for the support. The amount of messages that I get on social media with people saying they're inspired, they're encouraged, it really warms my heart. And I know everybody's asking me to do videos again. It's difficult, but I promise 2025 I'll start doing more videos again on social media. And just remember, in order to do the incredible, one has to dream the impossible. And number two, it is our choices, not our circumstances, that determine our outcome. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't, because most of the time they're just projecting their own insecurities onto you because they believe that they can't. Otherwise, Palesa Mosiea, motivatsi, motho wa mantsha thebediwa medicine di wemela mogobotong, motho wa tshele le dituka, motho wa lebajo le nkwanyana. Always winning.
Mafetu, you know how it is, Mafetu. Let's say, Mafetu, I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Lambona ki khatezi, gilo robala, Mafetu, akala.